All right, Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz declaring today a day of unity, calling for peaceful protests and a moment of silence for Renee Good, the woman killed in Wednesday's fatal ICE-involved shooting.
The National Guard now on standby in the Twin Cities as anti-ICE protests are expected for a third straight day.
Alexis McAdams joins us live from downtown Minneapolis with the latest. Alexis.
Good morning. Well, you saw yesterday some of those protests breaking out across the city, and I think it's interesting being here on the ground covering it, hearing what some of these people are saying to these Border Patrol agents and these ICE officers, calling them murderers, calling them killers, and then even spitting at them, which we'll get to in a second. I want to show you what happened this morning, just a short time ago, right near the scene. This was the first time I've seen Minneapolis police out there trying to, I guess, help, because they're trying to push all of this debris and, like, basically encampments that were set up right near where the shooting happened. They blocked off the road since this shooting happened and left behind snacks and other items. I don't know for what. Back out here live, although the feds say the agents shot this woman in self-defense, the protesters that we've been talking to say that these people and these agents are killers and they don't want them in their city. They're taking their neighbors, etc. So it's been very contentious here on the ground. We saw at least a dozen people arrested. Watch this. Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino on the ground, walking up and down. He was trying to show his support for teams who are out helping ICE during this massive federal operation. The reason they are also needed, I think it's important to point out, is because local police are just not around. The Sheriff's Department didn't see them. The Minneapolis PD didn't see them. So when there's all that chaos, they need somebody to help step in. At one point, Bovino had a clash with protesters.
Get out of the way.
The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension wanted to conduct its own independent investigation into the shooting. They said, let us take a look at the paperwork. Is there body cam video? They had all these questions, but now they have, quote, reluctantly withdrawn because the FBI said, we don't need your help. They blocked them from being involved. DHS Acting Director Kristi Noem says they don't need Minnesota's help.
I'd like to know where they've been and why they're not out on the streets investigating all of these people that are harassing and inciting violence on law enforcement officers right now. They're allowing the situation to be volatile. They're not doing their work. They have not been cut out. They don't have any jurisdiction in this investigation.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem correcting that there. But yeah, just so much going on the ground. We're expecting more protests, not just today, but throughout the weekend. We'll keep an eye on it.
All right. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Alexis. So who is this mom? Who is this woman that lost her life tragically, Renee Good? We're finding out more. Turns out she moves to Minneapolis, and according to reports, she goes into a daycare with a 6-year-old, or a school with a 6-year-old, and evidently it's a charter school known for its social activism, at which time other parents start saying how important it is for kids to get involved in activism. That's another conversation. Number two, it turns out that she gets gradually radicalized, or was radicalized already, and joins these anti-ICE teams, and she becomes a warrior for those teams.
Yeah, the New York Post calling her an ICE warrior, saying that Renee Good had participated in part. Yeah, there you go. The cover right there of the New York Post. Look at that. Warrior on the left, saying that she was part, Ainsley, of this ICE Watch group. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it is unbelievable that in America we have these organized groups in Minneapolis. We saw it out in California months ago, where groups are allowed to organize to basically dox, identify, and put our ICE, federal immigration law enforcement officers, at greater risk. That's why you've got assaults up 1,300%. That's why you've got a 3,200% increase in vehicle assaults. Now, you mentioned that school, Brian. A mother that also has a child in that school gave a quote to the New York Post saying that Renee was trained against these ICE agents, what to do, what not to do. It's a very thorough training to listen to commands, to know your rights, to whistle when you see an ICE agent. I know she was doing the right thing. I watched the video plenty of times, but I also know in my heart the woman she was doing everything right. However, That's not
Right? If you're an activist.
That's not actually true. If you're obstructing an ICE
But
operation,
in that person's mind, she was doing
The thing, this just shows you there are two tales going on in America right now. You have some people who think she was doing the right thing, including this mom at the school. The activist community, they think she was doing the right thing. Then you have the other group, the other side of the story, who says you can't resist arrest. You can't run away from police officers when they tell you to get out of the car, when they tell you to stop.
She was trained to do that.
She was trained to do that. According to the New York Post, it says she was trained to resist the feds before the shooting, part of the group of activists who worked to document and resist the federal immigration crackdown. They call her the ICE Watch Warrior.
Do you believe this? She was trained in detail on what ICE can do, what they can't do, how to get in their face, how to block them off. So she's not the poet from Colorado who wants to, who's coming off, who wants to raise a 6-year-old child. She's an activist living in Minneapolis who's with an anti-ICE group. That's a little bit different than we've been told.
They say the training is very, very thorough,
Yes.
but this lady ended up dead as a result of resisting.
About her own actions, which the vice president pointed out yesterday.
Vice President Vance, you just suggested that this woman who was killed, Renee Good, is part of a broader left-wing network. Who do you think is behind this broader left-wing network?
Well, it's one of the things we're going to have to figure out, but here's the way that I put it. When somebody throws a brick at an ICE agent or somebody tries to run over an ICE agent, who paid for the brick? And who told protesters to show up and engage in violent activity against our law enforcement officers? You see, just with this most recent terrible incident in Minneapolis, you see friends of this woman's or other people who are eyewitnesses saying basically that she was there to engage in obstruction of a legitimate law enforcement operation. How did she get there? How did she learn about this? There's an entire network, and frankly, some of the media are participating in it, that is trying to incite violence against our law enforcement officers. It's ridiculous, it's preposterous, and part of our investigatory work is getting to the bottom of it. Who's funding it, who's supporting it, who's cheerleading it, and of course, if there's illegal activity related to that, we're going to get to the bottom of that and prosecute it where we can.
So let's get this straight. You could focus on the car and they're going to do an investigation and have at it. But you could also focus on who is inciting this violence since President Trump took over. It is these Democratic mayors, Democratic governors in Chicago, over in Minneapolis, and now over in Portland, Oregon. We see it again today, who are basically asking people to do just this. Get in ICE's way. And what is ICE's mandate? To get illegal immigrant criminals off the streets and illegal immigrants out of the country. That's their goal. So if you can tell me how that is anti-American or why that should be your way of making a living, or how you, as the mother of a 6-year-old, should drop your kid off and then go put your life on the line to get in front of the U.S. federal law enforcement, is beyond me. It's a tragedy that she died, but as J.D. Vance said, it's of her own doing that she put herself in that situation, trained to get in the way of law enforcement. And don't tell me you're pro-law enforcement if you're anti-ICE. You can't do both. You're going to pick sheriffs that you like, state cops that you like. You're going to pick local cops that you like. Oh, I just don't like the FBI, or I just don't like ICE. They're doing their job.
Well, Laura Ingraham last night was in the middle of one of the protests, and the lady admitted this. Laura said, why don't you have a job? She goes, this is my job.
Yeah.
So she is getting paid to be out there. And J.D. Vance is a good point. Who's paying for that brick? Who's paying these individuals?
The same people that are protesting. These are left-wing socialist groups that pick anti-Semitic, pro-Hamas 1 minute, the next minute they're pro-George Floyd. Whatever the issue, anti-American issue is, they pay the activists to disrupt.
It's time to follow the money, as J.D. Vance says, and find out who these groups are. It appears, according to the New York Post, one group, Indivisible Twin Cities, may be behind training some of these protesters and organizing them. So we need to know more about them, who they are, and where their money's coming from.
Right. FoxNews.com did a story on Monday that really unwinds the 6 major socialist groups in our country, some of which money comes from Shanghai.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.